UFC is growing. I mean, it's over the last, what would you say, 5-10 years? It's blown.
God,
I mean,
yeah.
video games out. And the guy over there doesn't think it's a sport.
I think that it's probably what it takes intense training. Obviously, you are great athletes, but I don't. I think that sports are sports are baseball, basketball, football, hockey, soccer.
Come on, you're kidding me.
It's
That's a true sport.
I don't agree that boxing is
I
a
say
sport.
go
though,
show
either.
him. I say. No, you can say it, huh? What?
That's
I'm saying then if this isn't a sport, then your job isn't a real job then either.
That's
See, it's easy to say it's not a sport between like two walls
and two doors.
and two doors.
And he gets a lock, too, on his door.
And he gets a lock. But make your point. Why do you think it's not?
I think there's a lot of things that aren't here. I've got a little list of things that I don't necessarily consider sports. If you'd like me to go through.
But how do you consider what is a sport and what is not? Because you're right. You got a guy here. I was looking over the stuff. Your training is insane. In the morning you wake up and you do. It says on here submission and wrestling, and then weight training, and then you do the stand-up training in the evening. I mean, it's 24/7. You're in the gym, training, getting ready. Your life is training. How can you possibly, with all this, not consider it a sport?
Because I don't consider it. There's the intent of the of MMA or boxing, for that matter, is to harm your opponent. And so I don't consider it a sport.
But it's
for
to
that
win.
reason. It is absolutely to win.
You
And it's
girl?
competition. Not at all.
Who cares if you hurt your opponent? So in football, you hurt your opponents?
Not intentionally. That's not the intent. The intent in football is to score touchdowns and to get points.
MMA is a mixed martial arts. You know?
Right.
All the Olympic sports together, like judo, wrestling.
Don't look at me. Tell him. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I agree. I love watching it.
Why
I
not
watch
just sport,
I watch every single pay-per-view. I have any mixed martial arts event. I would watch Pride on Fox Sports before the UFC bought that as well. So I respect it as much as anybody, but I just don't say that it's a sport.
Oh, come on.
But you're getting points, right?
Is cheerleading a sport? Cheerleading's not a sport.
Balls to be in that room right now.
Poker, not a sport. Equestrian, not a sport. Fencing, not a sport.
Tony's
Swimming,
got
not a
cojones.
sport.
Tony's got cojones.
I think during commercials they should debate.
You need to come up to a microphone too, because you're very vocal about this.
I mean, what do you consider a sport? They consider billiards a sport. That's on ESPN. You consider that a sport?
Well, just because it's on ESPN doesn't make it a sport, though. Either they have cheerleading and poker on sports. Billiards isn't a sport.
But this
Darts
takes,
isn't a sport.
This takes training. Not everybody could do it.
And that's what I said.
And you get points. So what's the difference?
Am I being disrespectful by saying that it takes probably the most training out of anything in the world? So does track as well, but I don't think track's a sport. It's an Olympic event. It takes a lot of athletic. It takes a lot of ability, a lot of talent.
Track's not a sport? What are you talking about?
Is running a sport? Running's not a sport.
Now I see why you're sitting behind a desk and a microphone. Now it all makes sense to me here.
It's not offensive. The comment isn't offensive by saying something isn't a sport.
It's not
offensive. Paid a
offensive.
lot of money.
Wait,
Would it be offensive if I told you that your job's not a job?
It wouldn't be offensive. No, it's your opinion. It's cool.
Well, okay. Well, then I guess that's your opinion. Then it's not a fact.
You
I didn't
wake
say
up
it
and you
was.
train. You train all day. You go to bed after you finish training. I mean, this. And here's a guy saying it's not a sport. How is it not how could it possibly not be offensive?
You know that the first time I hear that, I mean, we train like 8-9 hours a day. Very exhaustive training, we take a rest. You're very, how you say that, we straight in the training, and that's the first time I hear that it's not a sport.
Yeah.
That's a true sport. That's a very, you gotta push a lot, to be there in the day. You're gonna fight. I think after that show, he's gonna change his mind.
I also agree. I mean, what
commercials,
sport? Tell me what sport other than mixed martial art has been around longer? I mean, this is probably one of the first sports that was ever created. I mean, let's look back at Gladiator. I mean,
Definitely.
I mean, I guess that's your opinion, but to me, it doesn't make sense.
It does. I think it does take more training and more work and more knowledge because it covers
There's no
such a
thought
wide
process.
range.
It does.
Mixed martial arts. I mean, that's everything. It's everything.
Yeah.
And it takes
Hold
an
the thought.
incredible athlete.
Hold the thought. We got to break for all the radio stations. We'll come back. Do you guys still have a little bit of time?
Bones, you mean?
Sure.
I tell you what. We have about 4 minutes of commercials. If you want to beat his ass.